sure about you, but are we on the cusp of World War III with Israel attacking Iran? I don't want to be alarmist. I don't want to be one of those people who thinks that everything will turn into a mass war and beating the war drums and all this stuff. It might not. But Israel has been out of control since probably the Rafah massacre. Before the Rafah massacre, I was of the belief that Israel had the right to defend themselves, and they were taking out Hamas, right? And they were getting Hamas out of their area, and Hamas October 7th, and all the rapes and murders that we saw that people can't deny that happened. There had to be justice for that. But then, when you really went into it and figured it out, they weren't killing Hamas anymore. They weren't rooting out Hamas anymore. They were rooting out the Palestinians. And actually moving them, driving them back town by town, foot by foot, out of Gaza so that they could take the land. And Rafah was the moment that really turned everything for me, because a lot of people were saying before it happened, hey, Israel's about to massacre these people. They're pushing them into a corner. These are all refugees. These aren't Hamas militants. And they're going to massacre these people. And bam, it happened. And Israel thought they could get away with it. And then Israel are murdering, medical workers for zero reason. Everything they said was completely a lie, because we actually have the cell phone footage of one of the murdered people as they're getting murdered, filming the entire incident. And you can see Israel just waiting for them and ambushing medical workers. They killed these people and threw them and their truck into a pit. Covered the pit as well as they could. Finally had to admit to the UN inspectors where it was and who got killed, and nothing happened. One person was removed of their service. No trials for murder, nothing. Israel has been getting away. Actually, I'll say it like this. The Benjamin Netanyahu, the Smotrich government of Israel that is just absolutely genocidal, bloodlustingly genocidal, they've been getting away with murder for a long time now. And this is someone who is a proponent of Israel usually. But you cannot deny this. You cannot defend this. And if you do, you're really defending, hey, it's good that Islamic children are being murdered. It's good that Palestinian children are being murdered. You can't look at me and say I'm someone who defends Islam. I am one of the biggest, I've been accused of being an Islamophobe. I am so against extremist Islam. And the immigration problem of Islam in Europe is one of the biggest issues. The immigration problem of Islam trying to take over places in Texas and stuff like that in the United States. It's a major issue. Cannot let that happen. But that's not what this is about. So no matter how many times people try and paint it as a war against Islamic extremism, a war against terrorism, that's not what this is about. This is about taking land, both in Gaza, in Syria, in Lebanon. It's about expanding Israel, because Israel feels like if they don't do that, they're basically surrounded by a bunch of countries that want to annihilate them. And I wonder why they want to annihilate Israel. It's not just because they hate Israel, they're anti-Semites, and blah, 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 blah. Maybe it has to do with Nakba. Maybe it has to do with 1948. Maybe it has to do with Israel coming back after the Holocaust and saying, you know what? We just survived that. No one will ever do that to us again. No one will ever push us into a corner again. In fact, we are going to be the takers now. We are taking from you. You are at our mercy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was almost like they had been hardened by that experience and felt so self-righteous that no one could ever, doubt Israel. No one could ever condemn Israel. And no one has. Until literally the last year, Israel has gotten away with any type of activities across the world, especially when it deals with the United States. It's just completely gotten away with it. Right or wrong, left, right, center, murders, secret operations, Epstein, whatever you want to say. They've had their hands in a lot of stuff. And mainly, they had their hands paying a lot of our congressmen, taking a lot of money, over $200 billion from our government. So, how is this happening? How is Israel attacking Iran, the number one thing, the big no-no, the big no-go that you never expected you would see Israel doing, attacking Iran? How is that happening? How is it allowed? Well, I'm sure Israel and Netanyahu's government have a lot of blackmail on a lot of politicians. I mean, do we really want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, not using his island for blackmail? Being connected with over 30 Mossad agents and suddenly somehow not being connected with Mossad, even though multiple times he shows up out of nowhere with a ton of money in a position of status he's never earned or belonged in, and he's almost like he's been placed there with untouchable money, commits crimes that somehow he's untouchable from. And let's not forget, Pam Bondi was right there in the area where Jeffrey Epstein was busted with a lot of this stuff in Florida, and she did nothing against Jeffrey Epstein. So just keep that in mind when you're wondering why America is allowing Israel to bomb Iran, potentially start a world war, and trying to drag America into a Middle Eastern conflict. I also see this in another light as well. Israel isn't just like bombing Iran into the ground, like everywhere, just bombing indiscriminately. They have been very specifically targeting, unlike Gaza where they just kill everybody. They've actually been specifically targeting in Iran these big-time generals. They've killed 11 of these generals, including the number one Revolutionary Guard, the final boss, Salami. They blew this dude into pieces of salami, I should say. He's done. He's dead. He's gone. Trump said we won't be seeing him anymore at the negotiations table, which I gotta admit is pretty funny, because these people are evil at the end of the day. It's not like these people are great Iranian people that Trump is just and Benjamin Netanyahu are sickeningly killing. We cannot have Iran having a nuclear weapon. That is the truth. And that is why America has done so much diplomatically to stop this, to prevent this. And that's why it's important that Israel killed 7 of their nuclear scientists, including the project head, the dude who is really in charge of them making a nuclear weapon. He gone, he dead, and I think that's a good thing. I know it sounds weird saying it's a good thing that someone's dead. I'm sorry, someone who wants mutual mass destruction with a nuclear weapon, I'd rather they be dead than the rest of the world. I'm sorry if that's a problem, but I think that sounds kind of realistic. But the issue at hand here for me, really, you have Israel has basically gotten carte blanche here. And Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, very conflicting statements. Marco Rubio says, we had nothing to do with this. Iran should not be attacking our people or our, military installations in response, and blah, 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 blah. And then Trump, who has to pretend that he is in charge, has to pretend that Netanyahu is his bitch, even though it's the other way around. First he's We were not aware. Blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, today, we were totally aware. Oh, we knew this was going to happen. Oh, yeah. He basically saying he had to get clearance from Big Daddy, and it's like, then did you clear it? And he's, no, we're not taking Israel's side. We're not taking Israel's side. Trump, have some fucking balls. I really don't care how big of a Trump supporter you are. I don't care how much in the tank you are for Donald Trump. This guy is a politician who only cares about money, lining his freaking pockets. And you've seen what he's done with Palantir. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you ignore anything negative Trump does. But I think it's time you actually look at this guy. Has he been America first? Hell no. It seems like he's being Israel first. Okay? Ukraine first. He's sent more money over there, given them more benefits than he's even given the American people. He's taking Medicare away from the American people. He's taking all sorts of programs away from the American people, while we're sending boatloads of cash to fight these wars. And I don't think it's just immediately going to be, oh, we're going to go fight a war in Iran, boots on the ground. I don't think it's that scary, yet. But it's a slippery slope. Donald Trump loves authoritarianism. He loves being able to show how strong he is by having other people drop bombs and kill people for him, because that makes him strong. It's all really in a very delicate place right now. And when you're talking about this weekend, with all these protests, the No King's Day protests on Trump's birthday, and basically people foaming at the mouth who hate Trump, I get it. And you have even more of a reason to hate Trump, because he doesn't have the balls to say, no, Netanyahu, you're on your own. I get it. I get why you want to protest. But if you go out there and you violently protest and you raise hell, I'm going to tell you one thing that's going to happen. Trump is going to get the martial law he's been wanting. Trump is going to get the shutdowns, the curfews, the ultimate law and order, in quotes, that he's been wanting to institute. If you really want to make him an authoritarian president, you go out there and you raise hell and you blow shit up. Or you could just protest peacefully and make your message heard. Beat the shit out of the agitators that are coming. And protect yourself and your message.